This channel wishes to be compliant with COPPA and the FTC and is not intended for audiences under the age of 13.
Hi folks! Whilst we're waiting for the next Animatic to be completed, I thought I would drop another From the Archives video. There will be an official vlog next week giving an update on the progress of the Animatic. But for now, we'll travel back in time to April 2020 to revisit and re-enjoy this old video of my first attempt at the Scribble challenge. Enjoy! Hi everyone and welcome back to a special edition of the show. My name is Owen and today I'm going to be taking part in the Scribble challenge, where basically I take a scribble and I convert it into several different designs. And to make sure that my designs are completely unbiased and I have no input on the scribble, I got my 4-year-old daughter to do the scribble for me, and here it is on the screen now. And so let's dive on in and see what we can make out of this.
Okay, now, so for this first scribble, I wanted to honour my daughter's imagination. So we asked her what did she think, or what did she believe this scribble to be, and she told us that it was a bouquet of flowers. Now, personally, I wasn't able to see it, so I had to ask my wife if she could see the flowers, and she said, of course she could, why couldn't I? So, of course. So I asked, oh, what type of flowers are they? And my wife said, oh, can't you see that they're irises? So I just quickly jumped on the internet, because I've never drawn irises before, so I had to get familiar with the shape. And so, as you saw in the beginning, I used the scribble as a template to then map out the design of the irises. Now, what I'm doing for each of these designs is first doing a rough sketch by literally trying to match the colors exactly to where they are in the scribble. And then after that, we then begin the actual neat drawing underneath, which may not be exactly like the scribble, but it's using the scribble and the rough design as a foundation to produce the finished piece. So like I said, I have never drawn an iris before, and it's been maybe 20 years since I've seriously tried to draw flowers, so I'm very out of practice, but I'm quite happy in the end how the end design turned out. So yeah, keep on watching and we'll soon see these flowers come to life. And so I was trying to think of the best way to get the right coloration on these flowers, and so I decided to learn from my fire and glowing objects tutorial, and I decided to reuse the blending brush, but this time go a lot further than I had been in the past to really blend those colors together. And I've got to say, patience definitely does pay off, because it's all too easy to give up on the blending tool, but if you really stick at it and really take the time to mix those colors, the blending does come out really, really well. Alright, that's the first finished piece done from the sketch. Now, I accidentally forgot to press record when doing the rough sketch for the second one. So basically I turned the scribble upside down, and then I could see a landscape which reminded me of the limestone casts in China along the Li River. So I used the colors that were in there to create that sort of landscape, and I could see a red mountain range with purple trees and a sort of a desert landscape on top. Oh, and green clouds as well. So I use that rough sketch as a template, and now I'm drawing in the neat design. And what I decided to do was, instead of using blending, was actually to use block colors and just use gradients to try and make it look similar to the old Chinese and Japanese ink paintings. So fingers crossed, let's see how it turns out. Now, unfortunately, this is where the design starts to struggle and I make a couple of missteps, and I decided to change my mind and do some blending for the sand because I didn't feel the gradients were working. It didn't look like the landscape was sitting on the sand, it looked like it was floating over the top. So this is where I did decide to try and do some blending and highlights, and I actually regret this decision. I should have found a better way just to use these straight up gradients, and I think we really lose the similarity to the ink painting. So not a success for this particular exercise, but I do like the idea I have in my head of this particular landscape, so it's going to be one I might come back to in the future, because I think the idea is there. I just couldn't let it reach its potential in today's video. And now we get on to my absolute favorite. This stood out to me straight away. It was the first thing I saw. Now, for those of you who know me, I am not really a plant or a landscape artist. Naturally, I am a character artist, and although I really enjoyed trying two different designs and that got me out of my comfort zone, which is really important to do, to experiment with new ideas, looking straight away at this scribble, I saw a really badass samurai knight sort of character. So again, we're just doing a rough sketch matching the blocks of color to the scribble, just to get an idea of the form and shape of the character, and then we'll move on to the actual neat design afterwards. Alright, so we're more or less done here. So he does look a bit derpy, he does look a bit silly. However, it does give a form in mind. So what I jumped online and used some reference images for the skull mask and the basic shapes of a samurai helmet where the plates would rest. So here is the neat line art, and now I am matching up the colors from the rough design and placing them onto the neat image. So basically what I can see here is a samurai. So it's not a skull face, but it's a skull mask that he's wearing with battle damage to the front. A bit tricky to include the cone-shaped crown of the helmet. However, it was an important design feature because that's what's in the Scribble, so I think I've managed to pull it off that way. And then with a ragged purple cloak with a green fur trim. So stick around as I add all the details on, and I'm really impressed with how it turned out. Alright, there we are. That's all the different designs that I could make out of this Scribble. I really enjoyed this challenge. I definitely will be doing it again in the future. So remember, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for it to appear more in YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, and remember to hit that notification bell so that whenever new videos come up, you'll be able to see them straight away. Alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another behind the scenes vlog and another video. Until then, look after yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.